An old economist mate of mine once gave me some advice, David, and I pass it on to you. He said to me, Koshy, if you're going to forecast, you do it one of two ways. You forecast regularly so you can keep changing your mind, or forecast so far into the future when you get there they've forgotten what you've said anyhow. So if you want to give us the value of the dollar for 2025, that's an option. Yeah.
Well, I could be a weatherman too, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. On Channel 7, of course.
Yeah.
Koshy, I think that we're at this really interesting point that we have got parity or close to parity with the US dollar, and of course, as we all know, importing, exporting, it is the main currency typically that you trade in. I think it's going to be a situation where our interest rates are still relatively high compared to the US, obviously, yeah. and there's in any currency there's two sides. There's what's happening in Australia. We've navigated the GFC really well. The US has got some challenges. There's another suggestion in the US that there may be further easing. There may be more stimulus required.
Further easing? They're at 0%.
Yeah.
That's the official interest rate in America, 0%.
And more stimulus that may be required. Yeah. In America, you've got the Senate, I think this weekend or next weekend, likely to be a change in the Senate composition perhaps. So again, I think the Australian fundamentals are pretty good, driven off the back of the resources sector and emerging positive signs in rural from a production point of view. But there's a fine balance there because the exporters are going to start getting hurt with the strength of the dollar. Because at the end of the day, your cost of production and all those sort of things are what they are, and the currency is going to be a major driver. Clearly, we're in uncharted territory, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens 11:30.
Yep.
With the inflation numbers and what that might do for the interest rate settings and the data that's come out of that. So,
11.29 at the moment. A couple of points from the gurus I talk to about the currency. The average level of the Australian dollar to the US dollar is around late 70, early 80 US cent marks. So in terms of the pendulum, the cycle, up to parity is we're way up here at the moment. Remember, everything does go in a cycle and tends to revert back to the traditional average, to history. So you can say things are blown out at the moment. Why? Well, as David was saying, official interest rates in the United States are 0% at the moment. Here in Australia, they're 4.25%. So you have billions of dollars of superannuation pension money from overseas investors swooshing around the globe at any one time chasing the best interest rate. So if you're a fund manager overseas and you saw 0% in America and 4.25% here with a strong economy, you'd dump a lot of money here, and that's what's happening. That's what's been driving the Australian dollar up, because we are the best country in the world to get through the GFC. We've done really well. Don't underestimate how well we've had it and how tough it is overseas. But, as we said before, everything runs in a cycle. Every boom ends in a bust, every bust ends in a recovery. And when the US starts to turn around, and it will, and Europe will start to turn around, they'll take all the pain and get better, their interest rates will start going up, being more attractive, a better economy, more attractive to investors, so the American dollar will go up, and as a result, we will ease. And it's really all in the timing.